And happy Wednesday. Welcome to the Pitchline Chronicles, where fans become family. I am Uncle Tats. I will be joined shortly by Donald. He is doing awesome things, helping out a friend. Rob, unfortunately, he got stuck on an early shift. So rather than just sitting, waiting for Donald, twiddling my thumbs, I'd rather hang out with you fine folks and start the morning off. I know Jacob just had a extra long morning cup of Joe, and that dude that's the perfect way to start your morning. But the other way to end last night was that Yankee game, and we're gonna break all that down. But while we wait for Donald, because I had to break out the old school, right? Because this is exactly what they were yesterday. They were fucking savages, kicking the shit out of Verlander. But I want to, how are we feeling about the vibes in New York sports right now? Because it feels like every team that's playing is playing just extremely well. Obviously we got the Knicks and the Rangers in the postseason. We also have, the Yankees, as we know, and the Mets coming off wins. The New York sports, it seems like they're really making their stamp back that New York is not to be fucked with. And it's just such a good time. And while you guys drop down, like aside from the Yankees, what teams are you really looking forward to seeing in the postseason rankings? What are your expectations? I don't watch them, but I follow, so I know what the hell everybody's talking about. But yeah, John, who are the Mets? Some little brothers of ours. Sometimes you got to keep an eye on your little brother, make sure nobody's picking on him. Unless you are picking on him, then that's the only time it's funny. But we do have Donald backstage, so we're gonna bring him up right now, and we're gonna get this all going. And we are going to start it off with just a little bit of a roll call. Where are you, bro? There you are. So we do have a couple of we got some awesome people in the chat, Donald, and we were patiently waiting.
Missing me.
We got Dev in the building. We got Medina in the building. Medina in the building. I had to do that. Everybody from the Positivity Posse understands what that is. We got Cold Italian Pizza, one of the best names on the YouTube community. We got the Strike Zone. We got NFE in the building.
Back, baby.
We got Joan. We got Stephen B. TC Steels is up early hanging out with us. And I want to welcome Maya Sierra. Good morning, Sierra. Thanks for hanging out with us this morning. You got FJ is also in the building. Obviously, we always know Jonathan, bright and early. His schedule revolves around our show. He never misses a beat. We love Jonathan. He's a great guy. I've hung out with him a couple times. We got Frederick is hanging out with us this morning. Good morning, Frederick. Mr. Barrows, hope you are feeling better. Let's get to what we all came to talk about. We kicked the shit out of Verlander last night, Donald. How are we feeling about this Yankee team right now?
We did. They were great. The offense was on fire. Let's go, man. Verdugo dog, baby. It was all about the Dugo dog.
Believe me, if the dog was any smaller, I'd have her on my lap again. But
bro, Dugo
she don't fit no more. I was gonna have the dog with me today, and
Dugo dog, bro. That's what it's all about. That is what it's all about. The Dugo dog.
Yep. I just got a text. Spencer is hanging out, watching us from home. Good morning, Spencer. I'll reach out to you later. I want to catch up with you and see how everything is going. But yeah, no, look, it was the Verdugo game yesterday. He was involved in everything. We've been given a lot.
I like him in the cleanup spot. I don't know about you guys, but I like him in the cleanup spot.
Oh, absolutely. I think he found his place.
Yeah, it's a good spot for him.
Because I think it does have the proper flow to the lineup.
Yep.
Really. And his defense as well. His defense has been solid. It's amazing what happens when you actually have a left fielder. Because he's made a couple of plays throughout this year, mainly, especially that diving catch yesterday. It's when maybe Brett Gardner was the last actual left fielder that would make that play. And it's not that Brett Gardner was that long ago, But from Gardner to Verdugo, the bullshit that they were putting out there made it seem like it made it seem that much longer since we've had a left fielder.
Neil has totally changed this thing. You listen to Anthony Volpe, and he says that that already Verdugo's the heart of the locker room. Like he's already changed the locker room, and all those fans that said before the season started, "Oh, he's a hole. He's not going to fit. He's not suitable for New York." Blah blah blah. Why another Boston retread? You've all better check your receipts because we said this from the start that he was going to turn this thing around. He was a really good addition from Brian Cashman. We got him for a steal, and he's just such a great energy, great influence, athletic guy, and he's just the right. He's like the right fit for New York. I think he was always destined to be perfect in New York, and he's brought a lot of energy, heart, and not just that, phenomenal left field. He plays an incredible left field. What about that diving play he made later in the game to save a run, where he dived and pulled out a huge play in left field, saved a run. The guy's just doing it. That was an MVP game from Verdugo. I have to say, like multiple quality at bats with runners in scoring position, big 3-run home run, towering shot, and then making great plays in left field. Guy was great.
Yeah, it's no. I think the negativity around him, like Sierra's pointing out, um, you know, he was supposed to be this toxicity in the locker room. He's all in. He really is. I am not surprised. We all knew he had the ability to really carry, be a strength of the lineup. I don't want to say carry a team. We have Judge, we have Soto. They carry a team. Verdugo is kind of like right in that top tier of your lineup where when his spot comes up, your optimism goes up as well.
This is a good point for Mr. Barros. Verdugo is a New Yorker at heart. He's a must-stay for the Yankees. I was thinking that yesterday, right? I was watching this game and I'm thinking, dude, like Verdugo needs to stay long-term, but how can we make this work? Because say you extend him, because he's obviously in his last year of his deal. I think he's a really good locker room influence, and I think he's really good for the lineup. If you sign him, extend him, he's obviously your left fielder. Then what does that mean for Soto, Judge, Dominguez, and Spencer Jones? I mean, it's good problems to have, but you almost wish that Dominguez could play second base. You really could, because I don't know because obviously Soto needs to be extended for like forever, like 14-year contract. Just sign me up, do it. You have him at right field. Then what happens with Judge? Does he transition to DH? Is that what you would do? Do you like have Dominguez and Judge maybe share time in center field?
There may be a solution to this. And I was hanging out on Twitter Spaces the other night, right? Monday night. Sunday night. I was hanging out Twitter Spaces with Dane.
I don't think they're exclusive, Jacob. Donald, the only way you re-signed Verdugo was not Soto.
No, you can do both.
You can do both, I think.
There's a lot of money coming off the books. You're not gonna, we all know Torres is gone. You don't know what's gonna happen with Rizzo. I don't think he's coming back.
I'm not sure Sierra Soto will eventually be a DH only. I'm not sure Soto's been playing plus right field, and he's only 25. I don't know if you want.
I think it's more likely to see Judge as a permanent DH.
Yeah.
Just because his body type.
Yeah.
That toe. You don't want. Yeah, I don't see him long term in the outfield only because of unless they find a way to completely heal that toe. That might be something that becomes a hindrance. Sooner rather than later. With the long contract. But here's an idea that was tossed around, and it wasn't one of those crazy discussions. It was actually very well thought out. It was. We also still need a legitimate major league ready third baseman, right? We're not completely sold on Cabrera. He hasn't hurt us, but he's got better utility elsewhere. What about a trade with Miami while they're already down and they're kind of. What about Berger? What if we make a trade for Berger to play third, who also plays first? So you're also pretty much replacing the LeMahieu with Berger. You're gonna have to give up Jones or Dominguez, one or the other. Right? It's not gonna be a popular move. Sometimes the right moves hurt. And Berger's under control until 2029. He still has 2 more years before he's even arbitration eligible. So that might be something that can be explored as the season goes on. As more
well, what about Birdie and DJ LeMahieu? They're going to be
Birdie's fine. I'm not worried about Birdie. I'm worried about LeMahieu. I don't know if he's coming back, when he's coming back, and what he's going to be when he does come back.
I mean, third base, I think will be okay. Well, Ozzy doesn't deserve to be demoted. He's played fine at third, and offensively he's been fantastic. Second base, I'm more worried about. Gleyber Torres is an absolute abomination. He's my issue. If DJ LeMahieu could step in and replace Gleyber Torres at second, I'd be delighted.
That's the ideal spot. Yeah,
and then you can have Birdie and Oswaldo Cabrera share time at third. Relegate Gleyber Torres to the bench until we can get rid of him. I'm trying to think of what we could do, because I do think middle infield is an issue. I don't think we have our long-term second baseman, so I would look at second base as a possibility. I'm totally done with Gleyber Torres.
Yeah, and you got to pull this up. Rob from work. I think he's ready to yell at me. He goes, no. Don't. I did not go through an entire offseason of people telling me you can't trade Spencer Jones for Corbin Burns, only to have him as a suggestion for Jake Berger. It would.
Fats. It was a little, to be honest, Tats, that was a little L.I. Yankee King of you.
Oh, no. Where do you think it came from? That was an L.I. then, because we were
I knew it. I knew it.
See,
I knew it.
And I have to say,
we have to ban him
because
he's getting muted. Tats has been muted. He actually went on this stream and promoted an L.I. Yankee King trade. That deserves an automatic mute. That does not happen. Not in the Pinstripe Chronicles. No. He's been muted. Hi, everybody. Love the Knicks jersey. Hi, Fortrain. Hi, Rob. # fire Tats. Meanwhile, Tats has still not realized he's muted. Tats has been fired.
I didn't realize he actually did mute me.
I did. Turns out I had a whole discussion on this hypothetical yesterday. It was insane. Thank you, Sia. Let's all just say, Tats, that was insane. I do like the idea
of Jake Berger, though.
What about Peraza? Peraza hit a home run yesterday in the minors. Are we forgetting about Peraza all of a sudden? Does he not exist?
Yeah, Dane suggests Serma and Warren for Berger. Yeah, muted on my. And this is very normal.
I take no shit, Sierra. I take no shit.
It was one time years ago. Probably 5 years ago when we started. They didn't even let me come on the screen. They completely kicked me.
That's not true.
That was the takeover.
Oh yeah, we did. We have done a few takeovers.
No, I think that look, Berger. I don't think it's the worst idea to try, to inquire. I would kick the tires on it, see what they say. But no, I think they have to be very careful of what does get.
I'm not belaboring that point. Good start for Peraza and Tampa. Yeah, let's focus on what we do know that we have. I'd rather focus on what we know that we have rather than look
Well, the
elsewhere. But the
idea was for
Marlins will be having a
Peraza.
fire sale, and it's something to consider maybe next year. But as of right now, we do have middle infield options. Um, what about Peraza? You've got Oswaldo Cabrera. You've got Birdie. You've got DJ LeMahieu. You've still got Gleyber Torres for the rest of the season, but he's obviously not going to be extended. So you've got these options now. I wouldn't be looking too much to be making massive trades.
Well,
Joel,
because
will they
it
get
was also circled around if we want to make an offer for say Verdugo is just unconscious this year like he's been, and the option is there to keep him. You're gonna have a flooded outfield,
right?
And if a team inquires about one of those guys, well, obviously it's gonna have to be more than one player. This is gonna be like a haul.
Well, I mean, we're not going to take anybody away from our outfield. You're not going to trade Spencer Jones or Dominguez for Berger, so it's kind of a moot point.
Right. That's why I brought it up. I wanted you. I always want to hear your opinion on it.
Rice and Durbin. See, we got such talent in the minors, man. We do. We've got a lot of talent in the minors. I love.
When you look at the rankings, they never have us in the top, but everybody wants our guys.
I want to see more of our guys. We got Rice. We got a bunch of guys that are really good in our farm. The nice thing in our farm is it's super deep, deeper than it's been in a while. But we need to get the kids a chance to play and not hug the prospects. Preach, preach. Yes, you're getting a star for that. Well said. Yep. So let's focus on this game, bro.
Yes.
Scored 10 runs. I'm not going to spend this podcast talking about somebody who plays for the Marlins. We scored 10 runs, baby. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. I want to see people in the chat put a 10 spot on the board. We put a 10 spot on the board on the cheating Astros. That's what should be talking about, baby. Giancarlo Stanton, another home run. I love that. Big G, right? Love that.
I think when you see in the middle of this lineup, or up and down the lineup, everybody was dope. I think everybody had some part of a contribution to the 10 spot. And if they're kicking rocks, absolutely. Verlander looked old yesterday. He really did. And the Yankee bats took advantage of it. That's what you want to see. Because, especially in the first inning. Because when you have that ace on the mound, if you don't get to him, if you have him on the ropes in the first inning and you don't strike, you're going to let him get into his rhythm, and that's it. He's going to shut you down. I think it's also, they were saying on the broadcast, that it's the first time in his career that he did not go into the seventh inning against the Yankees, which is pretty wild when you think about it. I think he's got 36 starts against the Yankees. He's never been pulled before the seventh. That's how bad he was. But this also says how good our offense is clicking.
Yeah, I thought I'd rather focus on the latter. It's still our job, and we did it, man. We hit him all over the place, and even our outs were loud outs. Like Volpe took him to the warning track a couple times before finally going yard. It was we had a lot of loud outs. How good was Soto's at bat? Soto is so good. Oh my god, I love him so much. Juan Soto is just so good, bro. Like his command of the strike zone, it's like an event. Every single Soto at bat is an event. It's a must see. It's like, stop what you're doing. Well said. He is wonderful. He's the Juan one man Shoto. It's just every at bat is just so fucking good. His command of the strike zone's impeccable, and he hits it all over the ballpark. I mean, there was a pitch that he lined for a single, which was like 8 inches off the strike zone, high and outside, and he laced it to left field. That's just what he does, and he's just so freaking good. He's just incredible to watch. He's the best player in baseball. I don't want to hear about Ohtani. Ohtani can go and kick rocks, and he can go and bat all he wants, but Juan Soto is the real deal.
Yeah, I think. Well, Juan Soto definitely is a better all-around player. I mean, I don't. I've taken my shots at Otani a lot, but no, it's all about Juan. It's all about Soto. And every game that check just got adds another zero to it. you know, he's
That was
just
for you. That was for you, Effie.
yep. No, and you're starting it. You really. I know we want to give a lot. Usually when players turn it around, it always goes right to the hitting coach with a pitching coach. But when it comes to this lineup, you have to give the credit to Soto because you could almost see the rest of the team is feeding off of him and really trying to adopt his approach at the plate. And there was a stretch, last week and the week before where they just couldn't get a hit or they should have even gotten paid to play. They were so bad with the bats. But this is what happens when you go back to that mentality of wait for your pitch. Don't just swing at everything because you think you could, unless you're in 2 strikes, you need to fight it off to lengthen the at bat. But they're you're seeing it with Judge, which is why he got so pissed off the other night. But Judge is also he's not swinging in those low balls, blowing away.
Well, the big thing with
taking
Judge is he's fixed his swing. There was a mechanical issue with his swing. I picked up on it during his slump. His back leg, his ankle was collapsing on him as he was making contact because he was out in front. It just felt like he was his stance was a little open, and he was having difficulty reaching the outside pitches, and he was not generating the power from his lower half because his hind ankle was collapsing. But now you're noticing when he's absolutely crushing these pitches now, his stance is rock solid. His hind leg is remaining strong right through the swing, and his stance isn't quite as open. And now it's back to the Aaron Judge that we know and love. I think you're going to expect to see Aaron Judge start to tear the cover off the ball now. And I'm looking forward to seeing what kind of damage him and Soto are going to do together, because it's going to be fun. It's going to be cinema,
Yeah.
I mean, this next playoff run cinema, and then I think the next cinema is going to be the Yankees this summer, with Soto and Aaron Judge. I can't wait to watch them. The two of them are just gonna bang. I sound like Aaron Boone right there. Two of them are gonna bang. I don't like that. I'm sorry. I apologize for that.
To this point in the year, it's okay because he actually has not completely fucked the team up yet. He's actually been kind of minding his business.
I have no issues with Boone right now. He's doing fine.
Yeah, he's good. His comment here from Nick. Caputo. Michael Caputo is back in the building
Good
with
to
us.
see you.
We missed you in the chat. He hasn't been on in a while. Did you guys blast Judge for getting caught cheating? When did he cheat? Stealing signs? When did that happen? And if
Yeah.
you're talking about that stupid slide with the interference, it's I don't know what it.
I'm going to put him in timeout for that. You don't come on here and start saying that Aaron Judge cheats. Nah, it's not happening. That never happened. There's no sign stealing. I don't know what you're talking about. What are you talking about? Exactly, Joe.
Yeah,
sorry. Users in timeout. Right. Okay. Now. Everyone's like, what are you talking about? You don't come on here and talk Aaron Judge.
No, and it wasn't an interference. And you even had, on the fan, Tiki Barber broke it down. When they're sliding in, when you have a big body like that, you have to put your arm up to offset your balance, so you're not landing with all your weight completely on your hip. So when you're 6'7", you're gonna have a long arm. Like if I did it, you could throw an army over my head. I wouldn't touch it then. But I'm not 6'7". So the 1 in a million chance that it actually hit his fingers and they want to call it interference, get the fuck out of here with that. No, I'm not having that.
No, that's nonsense. That's absolutely nonsense. It happens. Things happen.
Dude, is it time to retire the FL Tuve chant?
Yeah, I'm kind of sick of it. I'm kind of sick of. I'm a little sick of it. It should only be applicable when you're playing the Astros, but we hear it every series, and I'm sick of it. Like,
No, I even think now they're so irrelevant.
kind of. I am sick of it.
And all it
Like,
does is motivate the dude. You're gonna get. We want to make him uncomfortable. He relishes the chant. You know,
yeah.
I
I
did
mean,
think it was. I did think it was funny though when the crowd was cheering when he found the ball off his ankle, which looks painful. Looks, whenever I see that, I cringe. You know, but
yeah. And if he's right, it was hilarious 3 years ago. This time, yeah, like 3 years
yeah,
ago. God, it was fun when the whole everyone was booing. It was, like, "Rah." It was great, but now, like, bro, like, there's like you can f the Astros. I'm good with that, but I mean,
single him out. Yeah,
yeah,
it's kind of played out.
a little bit. There's other guys that are a holes in the league as well.
And I don't think it's the diehards. I don't think it's those are the frat boys that are there. That are only there to do that. You know, I and it just carries over. It spirals. It's just like that. And I think, and if he put it he's right. 3 years ago, no problem. I would do it. I'm
Oh
just
yeah,
like, yeah, he's. It's not the same team.
it's a
The
little bit.
uniform is the same, but the team's not.
Fuck Trey Young. All the Knicks fans continue to chant "fuck Trey Young" when we're not even playing the Atlanta Hawks or like. There's other guys that you can focus on in the league, right? There's a lot of people that are assholes. Like you don't need to single one guy out. And to be honest, like Altuve's like he's not even in the forefront of my thoughts anymore. Like the whole Astros cheating thing. Like they should have gotten done. They should have gotten done, but the league it's up to the league to go do something now.
Yep.
But we should still hold them responsible. Every time that we play the Astros, I want us to heartily boo the bejesus out of them. Every
Mhm.
single time. Every time. So the rest of the series, boo the bejesus out of them. But once they've gone back to their holes in Houston, move on.
Yep.
You know?
Even Lynn is saying it. Altuve saw 2017. Move on, people. Yep. Um, and looking ahead to tonight's game, and if the Yankees should take today's game as well. Getty is pitching and has an 8.2. Wow, that's a high year. Right? So that'll be a 2-1 Yankee win.
Like, yeah, let's not ever say, oh, the Yankees, oh, look at that guy's ERA. The Yankees are going to toast them. We never know. 8 ERA usually means that the Yankees are going to get no hit. Like, unfortunately, that's been the case for like 5 years. So let's just take it on a case by case basis. I'm afraid, but I'm feeling very optimistic that the offense is starting to wake up a little bit. That's great to see. Do you think that it was that walk off hit from Stanton, then Rizzo's walk off single that changed the whole dynamics? Because the Yankees are playing with a bit of energy. Was it that walk off that's just kind of giving us a bit of momentum because we've been on fire since then?
Yeah. No, I think it is from that late inning comeback, to secure the win. The walk off. I think it all ties in. Those two games, when the season first started, when we were going through those first few series, it was one of we all kept saying the team is never out of it. This team just keeps fighting and fighting, and it's not like where last year, if the opposing team put up 3 runs, we were like, well, we're screwed. Where now they could put up 5, and we're like, all right, we can still do this. Just chip away, just chip. Like the confidence, we have more confidence in this roster than we did last year, which Verdugo's baby. That could be.
Hey, it could be. Who knows?
But no, I think we're just seeing
like
more of a collective play.
I think back to 2009. How did the Yankees get so much momentum? It was all the walk-offs. and then the celebrations afterwards with the pie in the face and it was that kind of a thing, and it built up, and it soon became kind of a lot of fun. Like AJ Burnett was the
Yeah.
heart of the locker room in '09. He added a lot of energy, and then all the walk offs, and it just kind of it built up and built up and built up, and there was an energy. Jonathan says Nick Swisher was a big part of that. I agree with that. Um, Maybe you could see similar vibes here because obviously Verdugo's come in. He's added a whole new energy to this locker room. He really has. He's just been fantastic. And I just saw that when we got that walk off, the celebrations, and it just felt like it was like a release. It was like they got the piano off their back a little bit, and they just seemed a little bit more loose since that game because they dealt with the Tigers fairly handily, and now we absolutely kicked the shit out of the Astros. Kicked the shit out of them. Abused them yesterday. So maybe it was just that walk off. It was just like the energy that created, the camaraderie. That's what I'm hoping. Definitely the momentum's picked up though, because for those 8 innings prior to that ninth inning was some really depressing baseball. It was
Yeah.
horrible to watch. And then it all just changed. With those hits, like Judge, his confidence back up, and Rizzo's confidence is up, and Verdugo's been great. It just seems to be a new locker room now, and it's great to see. And I'm glad we're finally giving some help to Soto because he needed some help, man. He was on
Yeah.
an island out there. I felt terrible for him. Now it's a whole team effort. It's great to see.
Yeah, it's the walk off. It's the late inning comeback. It's the Judge getting ejected for no reason. The last thing, and a lot of people had the narrative. Now they woke up a beast because Judge has just been his approach has just been a lot different. He's making more solid contact on the ball. Even Torres, he's making hard contact. Now all he has to do is just find the hole. He's line drawing, hitting line drives, 100 plus miles an hour right at everybody's chest. So, if he's able to just get one to skirt to the outfield, I think we'll start seeing more production from him as well. Because it's not like he's just out there flailing with the bat. He's putting good at bats together. He's just not getting the results yet. And I really think it's a yet, not a when. So, because Torres, we've seen the hitter he could be. His fielding sucks. I have no confidence in his fielding, but I still have confidence with his bat. And I think once he gets going, I think he's going to feed off of the guys in front of him that are putting it together and playing more collective baseball. The camaraderie is there. It's not like they're just all playing an individual stat line. When you get players that are feeding off of each other, this is the results you're going to get.
Yeah.
And yet we're 11 games over 500. And I was talking with one of my coworkers. The goal is get 10 games over 500, then 5, then and just keep building up. Because you're going to have those dog day slumps, and you don't want to bury yourself. So if they're able to again continue to beat up on a bad Astros team, especially that the Orioles lost last night, so we gained a game back. From that series. I think that this is gearing up to be a really nice run in the win column.
I need to see how Dominguez looks when he comes back. Hope to see Jones brought up for some reason. I get your point. Yeah, because the question was from Joan. If you had a choice of Dominguez and Jones or Stanton, who you choose? Well, listen, I think Stanton's had a very solid start to the year. I think he's been offensively our fourth, fifth best hitter in our roster right now. His numbers are fairly similar to Aaron Judge, and he's coming through with runners in scoring position. I think what Stanton's giving you in the DH spot is everything you could ask for. But long term, obviously Dominguez and Spencer Jones are the long term options. So I'm just focusing on this year with Stanton. We'll take it on a year by year basis, but for this year, we've got Stanton in the middle of the order, and he's coming through, and he's knock on wood, playing every day, and he's been fine. He's been really good, actually. I think he's actually been better than my expectations. So I've been really happy with Stanton, and he's still got that power bat, man. As you saw yesterday, where he absolutely lined it right out of the ballpark. So I'm focusing on this season. Next season, we'll happily pick up that conversation because it is a necessary conversation to have because long term you want Dominguez, Jones, Judge, Soto, and hey, even Verdugo. You want to find the right way of making this work. I'm not sure how you make this work because all of them should be our future. And it's a great sign that the Yankees have this exciting future ahead of them. But they've also got a really good team this year. So there's a lot to be excited about if you're a Yankee fan. Right, Tatz's cousin. I said, I'm sorry, fellas. Every time I have a Yankee, he totally fucks me. That's what she said. And no, listen, I'm not sure, man. Pick up whatever Yankee you can because I think they're going to hit.
No, I look. Every offseason, we all know Stanton is usually the focal point of every debate. You know what to do with Stanton, what to do with Stanton. But to John's point, it's he's not going anywhere. He's got the no trade clause, and he intends on finishing his career in New York. So that this is what we have. He's on a good run right now. Let's just enjoy it. I'm not like that. That's why I'm with Donald. Don't worry about next year. Let's enjoy what he's doing right now. He had a good game yesterday. He's had a good stretch of games. Let's just ride the wave with him. Just enjoy it while you can because it is Stanton. It ain't gonna last. And he's gonna go. He's gonna have those ebbs and flows in the season. So just enjoy what you can.
Yeah, I'm just
the W's are coming. It's not
he
like
deserves
with
credit.
15-1, he's hitting a home run.
Stan deserves more credit than he gets.
Yeah.
And if anything, there should be more focus on Gleyber Torres because he's been an abject disgrace. He's a disgrace to second base, and offensively, he was the only guy that didn't do anything yesterday. Like my ire is focused on Gleyber.
Yep.
What do we guys in the chat and Tats? What do we do with this Gleyber Torres situation? Like, say when Peraza's finished with his rehab in Tampa, and then when DJ LeMahieu is activated, what do we do with Gleyber Torres? Like, yeah, I mean, it's almost like a non-starter. You can't make a case for re-signing him.
No.
If there's anyone that actually thinks that there's a case for extending him, you're out.
I think I'm with Joe. I think he's with Mr. Barrows. He's got to be benched.
Yeah,
I think you give a couple of series where you platoon LeMahieu and Torres. Let LeMahieu get his legs under him a little bit, and then just let LeMahieu play second base.
Well, we already have an elite closer, and his name's Clay Holmes.
Clay Holmes. We have a closer with a 0 ERA. How much? What do you mean we don't have? We need
0 ERA. Have you seen his sliders lately? Ooh, the sinkers. Damn, dude's been on fire. But closer aside, trade Torres for an elite reliever. You could make that argument. You could make that argument. I would be open to trading Torres. I'd be open to trading Torres at the deadline because
I would trade him today.
Yeah, I think he's a negative. I think he's a negative. I don't think he fits this locker room. This locker room is locked in, right? Judge locked in. Soto, absolute fighter. Verdugo, fighter. DJ
Good morning, Jason.
You got a really good locker room. Rizzo, leader. You got a team of young guys that are really good for the locker room. And then you got Torres, who's just a space cadet, and he's not locked in. So I
No.
think I think he's like a negative asset. I would consider moving on from him. Yeah, that's not a bad point, man. Not a bad point. As I say, you don't even need to say closer. You can just say reliever, and I completely agree with you. Having a
Yeah.
lockdown eighth inning reliever, I agree because our eighth inning situation is a little bit shaky.
Yeah. I think we're, the off, we also had to keep in mind we had that 17 game stretch, and it was early in the season for a lot of these guys. Usually, you don't see that type of stretch in the first month. Usually, they have those, more, June, July, where you'll see those long stretches without an off day. What do we think we could get for Torres? Not much. To be honest with you, I really don't think we would
Yeah,
get.
is 500 OPS and like
He'd have to be wrapped around with some prospects if we're going to
300
get
slug
anything.
is not going to be too enticing for teams. There's one home run and like what 170 at bats or something
Yeah,
like that. That's not going to be too enticing for teams. His below average defense, his terrible base running. I mean, he's just a negative asset right now, and still he plays every day, which is amazing. They sat Cabrera to play Birdie when they should have sat Torres and played Birdie there at second base. That's my that's my contention. Like they need to be more open to sitting Torres, man. But they're invested in this guy. But I just don't like the energy. It's not just his production, his lack of.
not
It's
the
just I don't
energy.
like the
Yeah,
I don't like the energy. He just seems like he's a little bit of a space cadet, a little bit in his own head. Uh, uh, what could we get for him? I think if you got a killer reliever and a top prospect, I would be delighted with that. I
yeah,
think that would be fine.
yeah. I don't think it's going to be any. You're not going to for him by himself. You're not going to get much. Really
I
not.
think if you got a solid prospect and a good reliever, I think that could be something that you could work with.
Yeah, and the sad part is the arms that we can use. I mean, they've already burned that bridge with Miami, so I don't think that's a team that's even an option. I just don't see. I don't see an organization that's really low A. Wow,
Poor
and that's.
Torres. I don't know if he's that bad.
I don't know. I was the one that
Remember,
made the joke that
remember,
he'd be lucky to get a minor league contract.
remember. The Yankees managed to get Clayton Beater for Joey Gallo, and Joey Gallo is much worse than Gleyber Torres. Much worse, infinitely worse. So we could get a decent prospect for Torres.
Yeah, the Cardinals needed it. Yeah, they were looking at him. There's nothing. But to Donald's point that he just mentioned, they were, Beater. When we traded for Clay Holmes, he was scratching our head. You know, so you really do have to wait and seize it with some of these guys that you trade for because you don't know what you're going to get. But for the quick fix is just put Birdie at second base.
Yeah, it's
That's
nice
the
to see
quick
Birdie
fix.
back.
Here it is in a 6-1. It was 6-1, and he's stealing bases like a bull, like the game's on the line.
I love
He's
it.
not. He takes no opportunity for granted,
Yeah,
and you're seeing that's actually something that could be said about a lot of this lineup. They're not taking even though it was we're up by 6-7 runs, they're still playing like there's still a game on the line.
yeah. I like the energy, man. I love it.
And I don't care about this bullshit narrative where it's a garbage time home run. Screw that. You run that score up. I don't care who it is.
Pitch better.
The whole thing. Oh, we only hit home runs when they have a big lead. Okay, keep the pressure on the pitching because all you're doing is you're wearing out the opposing bullpen.
Yeah,
They still have 2 more games with a shitty starting rotation and an even worse bullpen because we knocked Verlander. They were pushing to keep him in that game. That we weren't letting him have any easy innings. So they had no choice but to go to their bullpen early. So now you wore those guys down. Now you also have it in your head. What's going on, Will? Now you have it in their head. Shit, we can't, like we said in the opening weekend, shit, we can't push this team around anymore. This is not the Yankees of years past. So I think that they are primed to do they're primed to win the next couple of games, but it's baseball. You never know.
161. Yesterday, I proposed a trade with TX for Ezekiel Duran. Versatile infield / outfield guy. We traded him for Gallo. He could play third and second, but he's one of the fastest in the game. I was actually disappointed that we traded Duran for Joey Gallo. I didn't like the Joey Gallo trade at the time. I was in the minority. I was the only guy in this stream that didn't like the trade, and I thought that Duran was going to be more of an asset than Joey Gallo. Turned out to be right. I like Duran. I wouldn't dismiss that. Wouldn't dismiss that at all. But we've got Peraza. I don't want to give up on Peraza yet. I'm glad to see that he hit that home run yesterday. Maybe I know that Aaron Boone doesn't love him, but he could really add something to this team if you give him a shot. Thank you, Jonathan. I didn't want him either. Yankees, Rangers, Knicks, baby. Dude, they're killing it this season. All three teams are killing it this year. Like the Rangers, they could. I'm not a big hockey fan, but they could easily win the Stanley Cup. The Knicks, Jalen Brunson, MVP. That's right. And the Yankees could go all the way. They need a few more tweaks, but the Yankees aren't far away. They could.
No, they're close.
And we could basically
close to being
completely remove the Astros from conversation, the playoff conversation. I know it's early, but if the Yankees sweep the Astros, they'll be well over 10 games below 500, and that'll be tough to come back from.
Yep. And then like Lynn is saying, ring the bell, hit the thumbs up. If you haven't already, hit that like button, share this out, hit the notification bell, hit the subscribe button. It says we are 52 subs away from 700, which is the next plateau that we were aiming for. So, but no, when you look at the standings, there's no reason why the Yankees should not be the favorites for the American League. They constantly want to just say, well, they want to point out, well, we didn't go and get the big time closer. Well, we don't need one. When you're pitching to an ERA of 0, there's not much better you could do.
No.
Yeah. So we have Torres. We have some questionable contracts that we have. I'll say questionable because Stanton is on a good run right now. And it's very up and down. You could say it's LeMahieu with his health. Leaves questions to be answered. But we have, when you have Judge and Soto, or Soto and Judge, however it is, back to back, and then you add in Verdugo into the mix, the hot streaks with Stanton and Rizzo, how could you not have expectations for this club? I don't get it.
I have high expectations. I agree with Mr. Barros here. This is New York's year, everyone. Let the party begin. You know what I noticed when I was hanging out at Midtown last week? The energy and the camaraderie in the city is really, really good right now. It's just there's like a different energy, man. Like the Knicks being good, the Rangers being good, the Yankees being good. There's just a different energy in the town. Like, you're walking around your Knicks hoodie and people are giving you a high five going, let's go Knicks. Seeing a Yankee hat in the subway, people are like, hey, what do you think about the Yankees this year? It's just like there's this kind of energy. It's fun. Everyone's excited. I couldn't be more excited for the city. Like we've suffered a lot as New Yorkers. Yeah. We've suffered a lot through some really bad teams. And it's good that we finally have some good teams to look forward to.
Like even when we were on the subway going to the NYYU event, there are times you'll see a whole bunch of Yankee fans and everybody you give you a little
facts.
But when we were on, everybody was on fire, interacting with everybody. where everybody, it was just a much different vibe.
Yeah.
Especially walking around in the public.
Hate to burst your bubble, 161, but the Giants might win 3 games this year. They suck. The Jets, they might be better than the Giants. They'll probably be a little better than the Giants. Both football teams are going to suck.
I don't know about that, Nick. Like I said, I'm not the basketball guy, but I mean they are in the playoffs as well as with the Rangers.
That's
so
almost
we'll
a
welcome
comment
some other sports
is there
into
a
it.
Judge comment? Oh my God, what's going on with the Tats family right now today?
No, I did hear the whole thing about with with LeBron. He might want to be that missing piece. Like, come on now, stop.
It's never going to happen. The Knicks are not bringing LeBron.
That was 10 years ago. He had his chance.
Yes, exactly.
That's a problem. Let's get into this for a minute. What is it with these athletes? They want to jump to the team that's already built. They don't want to be there for the long haul. And that's across a lot of sports.
Yeah, I'm sick of it too, man. I agree. It's like
that
ring hunting. But the thing is, they're never happy. Like, look at Kevin Durant. Like, he left OKC to go to Golden State. Won a bunch of rings at Golden State, but then he wasn't happy because he wasn't the guy. So then he went to Brooklyn. And then he wasn't happy because Brooklyn weren't working out for him. Brooklyn's not big enough for him. So he went to Phoenix, and he's not happy because he's not the guy again. Oh, James Harden. He's basically been through the entire NBA to go ring hunting, and he's never happy. Just find a team. Be loyal to them. It'll mean more.
And that's why
I love the dynasty, baby. That's why I love that Yankee dynasty.
But that's why when you see these players that, even though that when you look at like a Trout, an Altuve, those are the two superstars that have been with their team the entire time. Even though they're on a decline and the team could easily move on. I mean, obviously they're stuck with big contracts. You don't see, the Judge is locked up. He's not going anywhere. I think that gives a lot of those players a little bit more, admiration than these guys that come in just to seal the deal. Look, you just got here. You didn't even unpack your bag yet. You can't. Don't celebrate with us. Yeah, you were along for the car ride, but you only came on 2 exits ago. You didn't even chip in. They didn't even chip in for the gas yet.
Nice analogy. So let's look at the matchup today. We've got we're taking on a guy with an 8 ERA. Oh, and who have we got on the mound tonight?
We got Rodon on the mound tonight.
Let's go. Yeah.
It's been solid. Where's he at now? He's 2-2 with a 3.68 ERA. Not the end of the world. It's really
What's
not.
The stat line, guys? Let's give me your predictions. What's the stat line for Rodon versus Arrighetti? What is the stat line? Is Rodon going to give us 5? He's going to give us 6?
I think he could go 6. I'm going to say 6 and a. I was going to say 6 and a third, but I don't think he pitches into the 7th.
No.
I think it's going to be a stretch to get through 6 because of his pitch count. But I think he comes off the mound 3 runs or less.
Yeah, I agree. I think he'll give you 6 and 3. 3.68 ERAs and inflated because of one bad start. Yeah, and then also partly because there was an error that Rizzo had that got rescinded by the league, and then the earned runs were charged against Rodon's average. So it's actually increased his ERA more than it probably fairly should have done.
I like Jason's.
I think Rodon's pitched well, apart from his last start, and I don't think he was all that bad in his last start either.
No, he hasn't been bad. He's been just a victim of some bad luck.
Like, if you look at our rotation in general, it's not been a problem. Nestor Cortez has been pitching to a sub-4 ERA. That's absolutely fine. Luis Gil's been electric, and we've not even talked about Gil yet. We've got Rodon, who's pitched well, and Stroman's been really rock solid. I mean, this is so much better than we could have imagined. With when we heard the news that Garrett Cole was out until say June, um, did you
Oh, we
imagine
thought
that
he was
all
fucked.
five of our starters would be pitching to a sub 4 ERA? All of them pitching effectively. Clark Schmidt guaranteed to give you 5 innings of 3 runs or less every single 5 days. I mean, we'll take this all day, every day. Our rotation's been really, really good, and it legitimately asks a question as to what's going to happen when Garrett Cole's available, say in a month or so. Who's going to be taken out of the rotation? No one deserves to be taken out.
Yeah, and there lies the that good problem that everybody likes to refer to.
Yeah,
You know, but well, all we asked was that for the rotation, just keep us in the game. Our expectations weren't well, we're gonna have depth and we're gonna have a rested bullpen, to just unleash on people. It's been a collaborative effort with the starters in the bullpen.
yeah,
You know, the bullpen's been taking over games in a healthy spot where it's only a 1 or 2 run difference in the game. You know, and handling their business, waiting for the offense to pick up. But think about that. We don't have Cole in the rotation. We had a struggling offense for a few weeks. And here we are sitting tied for first place with Baltimore. You know, you can go back and be like, well, we could have had that win, but we don't. You can't reverse the clock. Once the game's over, that's it. You move on. But
who would you
they
pick
have.
here? Who would you pick from NFE's your point, Tats?
Was an article. Oh, I want to see. I'd rather. Oh man, because I don't want to see either one of them be pulled from the rotation. I'd
Yeah,
rather
I
I'd
choose
rather I'd
neither.
rather move. And this is not a popular take. I'd rather move Cortez back into a long relief spot starter type
I
guy.
agree with you, Uncle T. I'm going with the quality of
Me
the
and Hill
arm.
are going to be our future for a couple of years, not Nesta.
Yeah, I don't want to take out Luis Heel. What's he done to deserve getting taken out? He just took on the Houston Astros, apparently our enemy, or apparently our rival, and he shut them down and went into the seventh inning. Like he was great,
Jason's right there with me.
apart from one poorly located pitch in the first inning. He absolutely shut down the Houston Astros and their big vaunted offense, and made them look made them look decidedly mediocre. Luis Heel could pitch, and you know the thing about the Luis Heel, and I keep saying this, and I say this, is as long as he can locate his pitches, he has
Yeah.
elite stuff. His stuff is among the upper echelon of the majors as long as he can locate his pitches. Over his last 3 starts, he's been locating his pitches. He's not been walking guys, and as long as you don't walk guys, Luis Heel is going to dominate. I'm not taking that out. I don't care. Cortez, he doesn't have the stuff that Clark Schmidt has. He also doesn't have the future that Clark Schmidt and Luis Heel has. I'm going with the upside. I'm going with the stuff. Cortez has neither. Cortez goes to middle relief, and I'm staying on that hill.
Yeah. I think, like I said, Schmidt and Heel are going to be our future. With Heel, if there was one thing I would like for him to work on is avoiding the extended innings because it brings his pitch count up too quick. I think with the stuff he has, he should be easily getting to the 6th, 7th inning before getting close to the 100 mark with his pitch count. That's the only, and if that's the only critique I have, there really isn't anything to critique. Because he's getting the swings and misses. He's not getting hit around hard. They're just fighting off some pitches because he does. Just shows that he's very controlled. He stays in the zone. He keeps the ball in the zone. They're just fighting it off. But more times than not, he's the one that's winning the battle. But I would like to see a few more quick innings here and there.
Yeah, but dude, he'll be great, and he deserves immense
Yeah.
credit for the way he pitched yesterday.
Yeah.
He located his pitches and just pretty much sailed through, and he gave us length as well. That was one of the big questions. People were saying, "Oh, he can't give us any more than 4 innings." Well, he went in the 7th inning against the Houston Astros. So, all the narratives that we got from ill-informed people who were saying that he shouldn't be in the rotation are now starting to learn that his stuff is excellent, elite, actually. And his stuff is as good as anyone in the majors as long as he can locate his pitches. And this is an even better point. He'll beat Burns and Verlander. He did. He took on some of the best arms in baseball and shut them down. You do not take that out of the rotation. I don't care. I'm not taking him out of the rotation. He doesn't deserve that. He really doesn't.
Yeah, and I think he had 97 and 98 pitches last night.
Yeah, he pitched under 100 pitchers. Went in the 7th. I mean, you can't ask
to out pitch. Verlander and
Burns.
Because I had a different name in my head for a second. I think that says a lot about his grit. And how he grinds through a game, where the way he's able to carve through a lineup. So I it only builds your confidence. The more you keep going against these other teams' aces, and you're the last one, you're the starter that's still in the game.
Nice Cobra Kai reference there.
So
I'm excited for Luis Gil, and let's bring on the Astros. Let's do it.
Yeah, they're done. They're cooked. Verlander's old. He's retired. Take your brother with you.
So, John.
Yep.
If y'all live in the sub button, what y'all doing? Hit the sub button. Yep. Let's do this. Let's continue to grow this channel. Appreciate everyone. The chat. This was a really good chat. It's one of the best chats we've had in a couple of days. Great.
Yeah, the chat is always on fire. Well, that is going to wrap things up for us today. Thanks, everybody, for hanging out with us on this Wednesday. We will be back on Friday. We will further break down this series.
Do you know what? I have an apology, guys.
Uh-oh.
In our last show, we didn't cover the Clutch Award for last series. I just realized that. We had the MVP, we had the Loki MVP, but we didn't have the Clutch Award.
We didn't go to Clutch?
We didn't go Clutch. So I just wanted everyone to know Juan Soto is my Clutch winner from last series. Uncle Tats, who is your Clutch winner?
Soto is the guy.
Soto. Right. People in the chat, who is your Clutch Award winner from the previous series?
John, that's why I couldn't sleep.
I felt so bad. Yeah, I take the L. I'm the MC of the awards, and I missed one of the most important awards.
No. I'm going to remove that take the L because, one, you admitted it. Believe me, nobody has to admit mistakes more than I do. But, you're correcting, you're making sure that the record books stay accurate.
Absolutely. I'm keeping the books accurate. So that we can have our annual awards. So that's what's going to happen. We're going to tally all these awards, and then we're going to have the annual awards at the end of the year. So 161 Holmes, Stevie B has Judge. All right, who else? Well, we got. Looks like we got a debate here between those two.
It's
a good shout.
You wouldn't see that from the other guy
Barra says Rizzo. Thanks, Dev. I know our channel is great, but could you give us an award winner? Sunil says Soto. Go 1-1-1-1. Let's go. Soto, Rizzo, Holmes, Judge, 1-1-1-1. Right. Come on, guys. Give us the winner. It's a democracy in this chat.
All right, next one.
Come on, guys.
We're running short on minutes.
Or asleep. Stanton,
Yeah,
June.
Stanton and
Everyone's good. Everyone's good. Anyone else? Yeah, Gleyber Torres. Why not?
so let's just give the clutch award to the offense.
It looks like it. This. Oh God, Sunil, just to bust Rob's balls.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say the square root of Soto. Right, Soto wins.
Yep.
That's the dumbest thing ever. Right, Soto wins. There you
That's gonna and that's gonna
go.
oh shit. But appreciate everybody hanging out with us. If you haven't already, hit that like button, hit that sub button, share this out with your friends, your family. The changes on the corner. This has been Pinstripe Chronicles, where fans become family. And remember, where you pinch out your pride and play on.